video is sponsored by Who the Heck is MRHEVYSHEVY.com. Yay! As you can see, I got my shirt there, boys. And I got that. And it goes everywhere you want it to go through the magic of adhesion magnetics. I thought I'd touch base with y'all since I'm not doing anything. I actually am not doing anything. I need to be doing it, but I'm not. Let me move that. Now see, I'm sitting on a pop case. Excuse me. I'm sitting on a pop case, and if it throws me, it throws me. I tell you what, I've been throwed by the best. I tell you what. Went to the doctor yesterday. No, I don't like to talk about that, but anyway, I just kept getting so lethargic and slowing down and not wanting to do nothing but lay still. And that's when I feel the best, is when I lay perfectly still. So something's going on. I talked to the doctor, and the doctor said, okay. He mentioned lots of stuff, lots of tests, all completely very invasive. And I mentioned to him, I said, look in my file, says I've already been through all that cut up and do all that stuff and stab and autopsy stuff. And he said, well, what are we going to do? I said, well, I was doing a lot better before you put me on my cholesterol medicine. He said, aha. I said, could that be it? I said, it's been gradually taking me down to where I really don't want to move. And he said, well, just quit it. He said, just don't take it anymore, and I'll call you in a week and we'll see. I said, can I quit this stuff all at once? Just like that? He said, yeah, you can tell you what you quit it cold turkey. So, on the way home, went by Subway, got the sandwich, $5.99, and ate the sandwich, and I quit taking that kind of pill. So this is the first day without it, and I don't think a week's going to be enough to let me get my my chutzpah back. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll have me back to where I'm among the moving and the shakings, because I want to drive this thing. It's so cute and wonderful, lovely, and I don't like staying in the house. As bad as I feel, I don't want to stay in the house. I want to get out here and, aggravate stuff and tease you folks. So that's what's going on with me. But I thought of a story I thought I'd share with you. Oh, good, a story. Let's go get a sandwich. When I was a little bitty boy with a little chainsaw haircut, I've always worked. I was a student at McKinley School. This is back before they put things like McKinley High, McKinley Elementary, all this other preschool, Head Start and stuff like that. It was just school. You just went to school. So I was in 2nd grade, and I took home a paper that my parents had to sign. They had to sign it so that I could get my it's not polio, my smallpox vaccination. That was a big thing back then, and they had to sign the thing to where, if I died or something, I couldn't blame Red Cross or whoever was putting it out. So Mama cried when she signed it, because she didn't want anything to hurt her little boy. Although 2 weeks beforehand I was knocked through the sheetrock when Daddy was having a fit. But luckily I went between the studs of the sheetrock and you know, it didn't kill me. Otherwise, I'd be writing this in Coast Code. But anyway, we all sat there in Miss Johnson's class with our little papers in our sweaty little hands. And we liked Miss Johnson. She's a pretty good teacher. She had a really big gap right here in her teeth. And in second grade, most of the kids all had, you know, teeth missing anyway, because, you know, it was the first bunch of teeth, you know, just kind of fall out, I guess. So since she had that missing part in her teeth, we just joined her in our club, and we loved her. But she got us to stand out, and we went single file out to the gymnasium, biggest room I've ever seen in my life, till I seen a bigger one. And the little boys lined up outside in the hall, and the little girls went on in. It was boys in one line and girls in the other line. And the boys was out in the hall and the nurses that was doing the vaccinations was just 2 or 3 guys inside the door opening. So now I can figure it out that they didn't want everybody in line to see what was happening around the corner. Otherwise we would have absconded. So it got to be Jimmy, then me, and then another guy, or boy, we was all about this high. All 65 pounds of me. And we got around there, and the guy right in front of Jimmy, the lady had these guns. I mean, I'm sure it was Dr. Mengele's invention, but it was a gun, had a little bottle on top and a little big round thing, and you just push it against the little boy's shoulder or arm, and kapow, that was it. You couldn't see, you know, it was just a magic thing, and you was inoculated. And so we was all pretty excited about, you know, what was going on, and we couldn't see the girls was over there across the gym, but they had a curtain up where they go behind the curtain, and, you know, we couldn't tell what they was doing. I don't know if they was getting their girlishness, or I don't know what was going on. But I figured it wasn't good because we couldn't see it. Girls was a mystery to me then and now and forever. So the guy in front of Jimmy, they hit him with that thing, and he kicked like a mule and run off. And he finally got done running when he went to the bleachers. They pulled out one side of the bleachers in the middle, and they was 30 feet high bleachers, big metal bleachers. They went 30 feet high up there. And since it was the middle section of the bleachers, the handrails wasn't on that particular part, so it was open to the sky on either end. And so he run up there and got on the top level, which is where everybody wants to be. All the cool kids got on the top level, and he dived in amongst all the kids rode up there. And of course, when he got in there, 2 end kids fell off and remained on the floor down there. And then the subsequent person jumped in the middle, and the other 2 kids fell off. And the principal seen this, and after a couple kids had fell off, he decided there was enough kids there to break the rest of them's fall, so he just let them stay there. That was Principal Hill, maybe? Anyway, after the kid that kicked left, presume, it was Jimmy's turn, and the lady figured out that there was no juice in the blender. So she was doing like this, and when she hit that trigger, Jimmy's eyes was like this. When she hit that trigger around, about 1,000 needles come out of it and stuck out about this far of that gun. And she would go click, 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 and them needles was sticking out, and Jimmy's eyes went, woohoo! And she changed the bottle, and then she clicked it a few more times, and she decided that it was primed and ready. So just as soon as she touched Jimmy's arm under here so she could hold it and shoot it. Jimmy passed out and headed to the floor. I knew he was going that direction anyway. And she, patow! Yeah, patow's about what it sounded like. She patowed him on the way down. She was a pretty good shot. But it kind of tore a little bit, and it was a perfect little round of blood there. And I'm next. So I'm looking down there at Jimmy, and that little circle of blood on his shoulder, and the Principal Hill, scooped him up like a rag doll and was going to carry him to the bleachers. They put the bleachers out there to see if he was going to have a reaction to the medicine, I guess, because we all had to sit out there for about half an hour in the gymnasium and push people off the edge, I guess. But when he picked Jimmy up, patoo! I got shot too. And I let out a word that I had heard my uncle say. And since my dad was a Baptist preacher, he didn't say that in front of me, but my uncle said it sometimes and a lot. And it was like 5 syllables or something like that. I couldn't see, my arm's hurting already just thinking about this. But I said the word, and Principal Hill cut me in a look like that, you know. And I followed him and Jimmy's limp body, and he laid him down on the bottom row of the bleachers, and he told me, "Brains, you sit there." And I was glad I didn't get licks because I said that word. There may be a few words. Maybe I was still saying them. No, I didn't. But I got to sit there with my little dead friend and rub my arm mostly. And I watched and watched and watched and watched everybody go through the thing. And that was it, I guess. That was the story. When I changed schools, most of the time that makes a big mark, but it didn't make a mark on me. So when I changed schools, I didn't have no proof because my parents didn't keep up with the paperwork if they got any. So I had to go through the thing again. Only this time I knew what was going to happen. And they shot me again at this other school. And you see the marks it made? No. So evidently, I don't make marks. I got plenty of scars, but that stuff didn't make a mark. And I figured I didn't get the full mess of the first one anyway, since she was shooting that empty gun around, scaring the far out of Jimmy and the rest of us. So I had to get that thing again. But I made sure that Mom and Dad kept up with the paperwork. I should have had it tattooed on me, but that would have been more needles. But evidently I don't think I'm going to have smallpox for a while. And that's my smallpox story. I think that's all I've got for y'all. I'll let you know when I get my, there's a word for this stuff, when I get my vim and vigor back. I hope that's not a swear word. Mojo, when I get my mojo back. I'll be out here doing stuff and thinking things. So don't fret for me. I mean, I'm still good and healthy, and I just don't feel it. But it'll be all right. And thank you, Mr. Heavy Chevy and the Heavy Chevy boys and the Heavy Chevy girls. Appreciate it. I love my shirt. Love my Mr. Heavy Chevy bumper sticker. I got 2 or 3 of them in here, and I got one on my the poster thing in my room, in the bedroom. So they're hard to forget, and they're good to remember. And how many people can say that? But this stuff makes you not want to do nothing. So I'm sorry I don't get to watch your stuff, which I really want, because that's my main entertainment and my main encouragement is getting to watch all your shows, I guess is what I'd call it. And they really do help me. A lot of times they help me learn how to do stuff. So that's great. And but right now, I don't want to breathe, but I have to because, you know, I stink if I don't. But it's all going to be all right by and by. I've got a good attitude, and I'm living the happiest part of my life right now, thanks to y'all and the good Lord and my good wife and my wonderful grandchild that stays with us and everybody else. If I could change anything, I'd still have Mama here, but I'm not taking her away from the Lord. And it wouldn't be fair to her to bring her back down into this stuff because she's got it made. So that's what I'm saying. And you know I love you. Really do. And I'm praying for y'all. And thank you for your prayers. So that's the way it is here. And I've got a structured settlement and I need cash now.